So, welcome to Yin Yoga tonight, you guys. My name is Rony, if we haven't met already, and tonight's practice is going to be a deep hip opening class. So, one of my favorite, most juicy practices. So, just taking a moment here to come to a seated position. And then from your seated position, just try and get as comfortable as possible, closing the eyes. If you wish to press play, you can do that now. So closing the eyes, sitting in a comfortable position. Taking a moment with your eyes closed to take a few nice deep breaths. Take an inhale through your nose, filling the diaphragm, filling the belly, with an open mouth exhale out through your mouth to release. Again, fill the belly, expand the diaphragm, rib cage wide as you fill up into the lungs. As you take an open mouth exhale to release. Again, even deeper, filling, holding at the top, sipping in a little bit more air as you exhale through the mouth. So about 3 more deep breaths like this on your own. I love to start practice with a little bit of breath work just to intentionally and mindfully bring in the oxygen. The breath is just as important as the posture in our yoga practice and will help support you in a deep shavasana at the end. Again, deep breath in, cleansing breath out. One more deep breath as you tune in, noticing how the hips feel without any judgment, but rather just observation. And then taking a cleansing, open mouth exhale to release. From here, gently shifting the weight forward into the knees, making your way into a tabletop position, pressing into the palms, coming onto hands and knees. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow here. So inhale as you drop the belly, shoulders away from the ears. As you take an exhale, drawing chin to chest, rounding the spine, belly button draws in and up. Again, inhale, drop the belly, making sure the fingertips are spread wide, the shoulders are stacked over the wrist, hips over the knees. Exhale, round it out. Again, inhale, expands the rib cage, drop the belly, fill the lungs all the way to the top. Exhale, chin to chest, round the spine like a cat. One more, inhale. 1 point of energy from the crown of your head down to your tailbone, and then exhale, rounding it out. Inhale as you come to a flat back. Draw the knees wider than the hips now as you send the hips back towards the heels, coming into a child's pose. Our first child's pose of practice, always available for you guys throughout the next hour. So taking an inhale, this time breathing into the kidneys, the back side of the body, with an open mouth exhale to release your day. And then seeing if you can come into a nice rhythm of your breath here on your own. Welcome, Maureen and Jessica. Actively reaching the fingertips forward, that will help you get a nice lengthening through the spine. And then sending the hips even more back towards the heels. Let's take one inhale here all together. Exhale as you crawl both fingertips towards the right edge corner of your mat, sending your hips over towards the left. Keeping the knees down and creating a little bit of space in the left side body here. You can do that by bringing the left hand on top of the right and really actively stretching the left fingertips forward so your elbow and forearm lift off of the mat. Let's take 3 slow, deep breaths here. The slower the breath, the better. Allowing the body to recognize that it's safe to move into the parasympathetic nervous system, coming out of fight or flight. One more expansive inhale here. Exhale as you walk both hands to the center of your mat and then over towards the left edge corner. Sinking the hips towards the right as we create space in the right side body now. Actively stretching the right fingertips forward, right palm on top of the left. And see if you can draw one point of energy from the right fingertips down the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder, down towards your right hip socket. And then sending that cleansing, clearing energy out of the hips. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Audible exhale. 1 more inhale. And exhale. Gently begin to walk the hands back to the center of your mat. As you shift the weight forward, coming back into tabletop position, keeping the knees wide, but walking the hands forward. So palms are not stacked over the shoulders this time, they're more forward, and your knees are open wide. So we do this to get into the hip sockets now. You're gonna inhale, shift the weight forward towards your right wrist, your left wrist, and then back towards the right heel and the left heel. So you're basically just drawing nice deep hip circles here, shifting the weight forward into a circular position and then shifting the weight backwards. So taking this at your own pace, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. You're just listening to your body and the feedback that it's giving you. So I know in Atila's case, his left hip is tighter, so he's going to move a little bit slower in that area just to release some of the scar tissue and the fascia that is binding his hips. He said his whole body's tight. I know. And then let's switch the direction of those circles, you guys. So whichever way you were going, just counter that. Nice and exaggerated with the circles, and stay with the breath. Good, Alonzo, that looks great. 3 more exaggerated circles. Moving a little slower in areas that you're like, ooh, I feel that tightness. 1 more deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Now slowly bringing knees hip width distance apart as you walk the hands back. So let's come back into that tabletop position. Shoulders stacked over the wrist, hips over the knees. Now you're going to pick up the right knee and place the right sole of your foot outside of the right hand. So we're coming into a lunging position, but the right foot is wider than the hand. Good. Now taking a deep breath in On your exhale, coming onto your fingertips and lifting your chest. So we're beginning to open up the right hip and the left side quad and psoas. So play around with this. You can use the right forearm or elbow to press the knee wide. If you feel like the left quad and psoas is open, I'm extremely jealous, but you can pick up the left knee and come into a lunging position. Atila's going to show you what that looks like. Yeah, so his left knee is lifted. He's lunging into the right knee. Totally optional. Yeah, it's an intense optional. It's an intense optional. Good. So taking a few more breaths here. All of our bodies are different, right? So modifications always offered. And then see if you can kind of shift the weight right and left, forward and backwards. Just observing, noticing how this feels in the hips. Again, no judgment, just being nice and compassionate with your body. Beautiful. 3 more deep breaths. We tend to hold our poses a little bit longer in our yin yoga practice to get nice and deep into the connective tissue. 1 more nice deep inhale. Maybe lunging a little bit deeper on your exhale, allowing the breath to be your guide. Inhale all together here. Beautiful, Adriana and Zach. And on your exhale, use your core to bring the right leg back. And then shake out that right leg however that feels good to you. So flushing it out. You can bend the knee, open it. You can come into a down dog, maybe back into your child's pose. Really nice, Jason and Liv. Take 3 cleansing breaths here before we move into the other side. So maybe you take open mouth exhales. If there's anything that you need to release from the throat, maybe making some noises. Everyone's on mute. Good. Now slowly shifting the weight forward, using the core to step the left foot outside of the left hand. Good. So we step the left foot outside of the hand instead of inside because that allows us to really lunge deep into the hip, right? So we want to also make sure that we always stack the joints. The knee shouldn't go past the ankle here. That will put a little too much pressure. So knee over the ankle, 90 degrees. And then as we're in this lunging pose, shifting a little bit forward, a little bit backwards. So the slightest amount, maybe a half an inch. Maybe going side to side using the left elbow or forearm this time to open up the knee. So the arch of the foot doesn't need to be flush down on the mat here. You can roll onto the outer knife edge corner of the foot. And notice how that gets you even deeper into the hips. Good. Nice. Deep breaths here, you guys. Just observing, noticing how this side feels. Good, Ginger. Just gonna stay in this pose all night. And then option on this side also, if you untuck the right toes and lift the knee off of the mat on the right side, that'll lengthen out the psoas muscle on the right hip. That's the seated muscle that tends to shorten when we sit a lot. Good. Taking 5 more slow, deep breaths. Maybe closing the eyes, removing that sensory to connect to other parts of the body. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. About 5 more, lunging forward, little backwards, opening the knee. And then observing, noticing any emotions that may be coming to surface. So the hips are an area that we tend to store a lot of emotions. So poses like this tend to bring that stuff to the surface. Inhale all together. Exhale. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more inhale, filling belly, chest, lungs. And exhale as you slowly begin to bring the weight back, coming on to hands and knees, shaking out that left side however that feels good to you. So you can straighten the legs back one at a time. You can shift the weight back into your heels. You can draw knee circles to open up the hips. And then just take a moment to notice how that feels. And a nice counter stretch to that is a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. Attila will show you what that looks like. You'll come onto the belly, palms are underneath the shoulders as you begin to straighten the arms or keep the elbows bent. As the pubic bones press into your mat, lifting the chest. Good. Maybe looking over your right shoulder, looking over your left shoulder. And then let's all come into a downward facing dog. So from a high plank pose, let's all meet there first so we can talk about where the hands and feet should be. So shoulders stacked over the wrist and your feet are hip width distance apart. So drawing the belly button in towards the spine, core nice and tight, spreading the fingers wide. Let's all take an inhale here all together. And on your exhale, pressing the hips high, keep the hands and feet exactly where they are. That's your downward facing dog. You can pedal out the legs right and left. And in your down dog, if you're hypermobile in the elbows, just be mindful that you're not bending too much in. You can counteract that by bending the elbows out and wrapping the triceps in. Let's take one inhale all together here. Open mouth exhale. Now bring your big toes together to touch in your downward facing dog. As you take an inhale, on your exhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky. Bend your knee and open your hip as you keep the shoulders squared. So if you want to see what that looks like, Attila is modeling it here. He's opening up the hip. Yes, great. And then drawing circles with the knee. So if there was a pencil attached to your knee, what would that look like to draw really exaggerated circles? Beautiful, Liz. And then switching the direction of those circles. We're getting ready for our next pose, which will be half pigeon. Let's take an inhale all together here. On your exhale, square the hips, shift your weight forward. Your right knee will land wider than the right wrist. Half pigeon, babe. Right knee. Half pigeon. Come into half pigeon.
We obviously didn't practice today before class.
We usually talk about the poses that are going to take place. You know, so we're in a half pigeon pose here, you guys. You're going to come onto the fingertips first. So Attila's knee is wider than his hip, really important here. The back knee is down. Come onto the fingertips to start here, you guys. So arms are straight, lift the chest, and then look over your right shoulder. That will help drop the left hip down. Inhale as you come back to center, gaze up towards the sky and drop your shoulders away from your ears. Let's inhale all together. And on your exhale, option to walk the hands forward, coming onto the forearms. Forehead maybe meets the mat. Getting nice and deep into the hips here. Picking up the breath. And as you're in this half pigeon pose, just making sure the hips are squared and challenging yourself to deepen the breath. See if you can expand the rib cage wide, inhaling through the nose, activating the vagus nerve, exhaling through the mouth to release. Beautiful, Roxy and Mom. Again, inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. 3 more expansive breaths. Again, we're holding these poses a little bit longer, getting into the connective tissue. You guys look great. Last deep breath in, fill, make it your deepest. Inhale, belly, chest, lungs. And on your exhale, slowly press into the palms, lift your chest and hold. Now begin to, from here, bend the left knee. So you're trying to bring the heel towards your butt and then reaching back and grabbing onto your ankle with the left hand. So this is a pretty deep quad stretch here on the left side, but making sure the hips are in integrity. So you don't want to shift too much to one side or the other. Your integrity is right here. 3 deep breaths, you guys. Inhale. Maybe looking over the left shoulder on your exhale. As you use that ankle to hand connection to peel the left shoulder back. This is a challenging one, you guys. 1 more inhale. Slowly coming out of it. On your exhale, try not to whip the foot back. With control, land it. And then coming out of it, shaking out the legs however that feels good to you. Beautiful job, you guys. That's a challenging one. So in pigeon pose, we create a tourniquet effect in the joints and the hips. And then when we come out of it, there's just fresh oxygenated blood that floods the bloodstream. Let's take 3 breaths here before moving into the other side. Liv, I love those windshield wipers. And then let's flutter the lips on our exhale. So it sounds like this. Again, inhale through the nose. Flutter the lips. Last one, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Beautiful reset there, you guys. Let's meet in our high plank pose. Spread the fingers wide. Heels hip width distance apart. Core nice and tight. Trying not to dump into the shoulders here. You got it, Alonso. Stay with it. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, hips high, downward facing dog. Keep the hands and feet exactly where they are. Now bring big toes together to touch. As you inhale, the left leg high. Bend the knee, open your hip. So naturally here, the weight wants to shift into the right hand, right? See if you can keep the shoulders squared. And then drawing nice, deep, exaggerated circles with the left knee. Sometimes in this pose, for me, I feel a little cracking. And then this side may feel different than the other. That's completely normal. Now switching the direction of the circles. Noticing the quality of your breath. Is the breath shallow or is it expansive? If it's shallow, just recommit. Let's take one more inhale all together. And then squaring off the hips on your exhale. Left leg stays high. And then shifting the weight forward, coming into half pigeon. Liz, I love the pillow underneath your butt here. So if you guys have any blocks or props, that's always okay to put underneath your butt right here. So underneath the left glute, a pillow or a block if this just feels really tight. So Attila's left knee is wider than his hip here. He's going to come onto the fingertips, lifting the chest. Let's all take an inhale, trying to drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale as you look over your left shoulder, taking your time to get into the poses. Inhale back to center, gaze forward and up towards the sky. Notice if that changes anything in the lower back, the hips. And then as if you're walking the hands over a beach ball, you're lengthening the spine as you walk them forward. Beautiful. Really intentional, you guys. I saw that. So maybe the forehead lands onto a block, a pillow, or the mat. And you can always stay up on the hands if that feels too much for the hips. Let's all breathe together here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhaling for a count of 4, 3, 2, hold. As you exhale for 4, 3, 2, release. One more like that. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, hold. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now slowly begin to lift the chest. Press into the palms. Good. Holding here. As you begin to bend the right knee, bring the heel towards the glute. Really important to note here, you don't want to be on the kneecap. So if you lift the knee and place it back maybe a half an inch, you're on the soft part just above the kneecap. It's a little bit more meaty. So inhale, pressing into the left palm, lift the chest, drop the shoulder away from your ear. Are you in integrity with the hips here? And then looking over the right shoulder, maybe drawing your gaze at one point to the right or behind you. And then using that palm to ankle connection to peel the right shoulder back. You'll get a bit of a shoulder and pec, maybe bicep stretch here. Let's take 3 breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale through the nose. Maybe on the exhale, you draw the heel a little closer in towards the glute. One more inhale, make it your deepest. And on your exhale, with control, release the ankle back to the mat. Take your time to slide the left knee back. Easy transition, no rush at all. And then moving that left leg around however that feels good to you guys. We were in that one for quite some time. Maybe you come back into those knee circles, opening up the hip, noticing how that feels after that pose. Good. Maybe you come back and take a few cat-cows or drawing circles into the hips. Always observing, tuning in, listening to what feels good in your body. One deep breath in. Audible exhale. Good. Let's come into a bit of a release from all of that. So you're going to sit onto your butts. Can you face them? Yeah, knees will be bent and your feet will be wider than the knees. So your ankles are stacked under the knees and you're going to windshield wiper both knees to the right and both knees to the left at the same time. Nice and slowly. So Alonzo, feet a little bit wider than the hips, so you can get really deep into that internal rotation. Good. And then take it slow, you guys. There's no rush here. Liz, feet also a little bit wider. Yeah, beautiful. Good adjustment. Great, Ginger. Good. One more windshield wiper to the right and to the left. And then slowly coming into Baddha Konasana, which is soles of your feet together, knees open wide. Another deep hip opener here. So option for the placement of the heels can be closer to your glutes or a little bit further away, just taking the modification that feels good to you. So from here, connecting to the ankles, sitting up nice and tall, rooting down into the sits bones. As you keep your gaze at one point in front of you and then slowly hinge forward. Try not to keep any rounding in the neck and the shoulders. So it's like you're a flat board hinging forward. So you may not go as deep, that's okay. Good. One deep breath in. Melt the chest a little bit more on your exhale. Even the smallest amount. Inhale, breath comes first, deepening of the pose on the exhale. Three more slow, deep breaths, noticing if the mind begins to wander at any point. That's normal. I call it the monkey mind. Just gently reel it back in. And you can do that by bringing the focus and the attention onto the breath. One more inhale. Melt the chest on your exhale. Now slowly walking both hands towards the right edge corner of your mat and keeping the left sits bones and butt cheek down onto the mat. If you notice it's starting to lift, you can bring the left hand to the left thigh and gently press it down. Beautiful. So we want to create a little bit of side body space on the left side. This doesn't have to be too big of a movement to feel it. You feel it? You don't feel it? No. Okay, back to center, and then walking both hands over towards the left edge corner of your mat, sinking the hips towards the right. Maybe the right hand comes to the right thigh or knee, pressing it down. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more. Crawl the fingertips a little bit more over, and then slowly bring it back. Guide the knees back together to touch as you straighten them forward, and then shake out the legs. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. And then bend both knees again, feet wider than the hips as you windshield wiper side to side. Reset, flush it out. Does it feel tight? Oh, no. Okay. We're going to go deep into the piriformis. All right. So this next one is one of my favorite poses, but a little bit challenging. It's called Gomukhasana, and we stack the knees on top of one another. So Attila will show you what it looks like. You're going to cross the right knee on top of the left as much as possible. So ankles will draw apart as the knees try to stack on top of one another.
This is one of my least favorite poses, so I have zero input, obviously, on what we're doing. Just FYI.
All right, you guys, let's feel this in the glute and the piriformis. So inhale as you lift the chest. Exhale as you begin to hinge forward. And if this is just a little too much for you, you can come onto shins stacked on top of one another. Attila will show you what that looks like as well. So two options here. You're stacking the shins like two logs with your feet flexed. Good. So again, this tends to be a little bit tight for us in the hips, but see if you can stay with it, finding whatever modification feels good to you. So either knee stacked or shin stacked. And then walking the hands forward and then over towards the left slightly. Good. So connecting one point of energy, your right hip to the fingertips. Good. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. About 3 more. Slow inhale. Cleansing exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. 1 more. And slowly walk the hands back to the center of your mat. And then walk the hands back as you gently uncross the knees, straightening the legs forward, shaking that out. Shake, 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 shake. How did that feel, you guys? Thumbs up or thumbs down? So-so?
Serves that.
All right, let's go into the other side. So shake it out, windshield wiper side to side. We always like to reset and then check in, right? Notice how this feels. And then when you're ready, no rush at all. Left knee will stack on top of the right knee, or left shin will come on top of the right, stacking them like logs. And maybe if you did knee stack on one side, this side just doesn't feel the same or as open, and you want to do logs stacked, that's totally fine. So let's all begin here together. Inhale, rooting down into the sits bones. And then slowly hinging it forward on your exhale. So disclosure, this pose tends to be a little bit tighter and more challenging for men than women. Yeah. So try and just be easeful, compassionate, loving towards yourself. Take an inhale. Melt it forward on your exhale. Again, deep breath in, deep breath out. And then slowly walking the fingertips over towards the right edge corner of your mat. Good. Yes, Alonzo, that looks great. Good, you got there. And then flex the feet back. Let's take 5 deep breaths here together. Inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through the mouth. 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, even deeper, maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more round. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out of it. Take your time. We come out of the pose as gently and supportive as we come into them. Straighten the legs, shake them out. Maybe you come back to those windshield wipers, side to side. You guys are doing great here. Deep breaths. Normal if you guys felt a little bit of tightness on the knees or the IT band there as well. Yeah. So we're going to move into one more pose before we come into our peak posture of practice. And that's going to be legs out to a V. So bringing the hands behind you to start. Maybe kind of moving the butt cheeks out of the way here to root down as deeply as possible, connecting to the earth. Inhale as you lift the chest. Exhale, hinge forward, walk the hands to the center of your mat, and flex the toes back. That will activate the inner thighs and the hamstrings. With every exhale, walk the hands forward. And so just checking in here, if you don't feel that inner thigh stretch, you can bring the feet even wider. Good. Few nice deep breaths. Keep flexing the toes back, engaging the quads, plugging the hips into the hip sockets. Let's breathe here all together. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Melting deeper on your exhale. 3 more breaths like that, you guys. Give it everything you got. Can kind of sway the hips side to side, create a little bit of movement and motion into them. Good, just side to side. And then slowly support the outside of the knees. Bend the knees to bring them back to center, one leg at a time. So support, support. Yes, beautiful, you guys. All right, we're ready for our peak posture, which is frog pose here. So Attila will show you from a side angle. Really important that we think of 90-degree angles here. So his ankle will be in line with his knee. His feet are flexed back like this. The arches of the feet connect. And then he's going to open his knees as wide as possible and then come down to his forearms, making sure that the hips don't go too much forward or too much backwards. So 90 degrees, ankle in line with the knee, knee in line with the hip, right? So we're going to hold this as our peak posture, taking your time to come into it. We've done quite a bit of poses to prep us for this, so we're ready. You guys got it. Once you're in it, try and relax the hips. And then playing around with the slightest movement, shifting forward a half an inch, shifting backwards an inch. And similar to how we were doing those hip circles in our tabletop position, you go really slow in areas that feel tight as you're moving the slightest bit forward and backwards. And then holding in areas that feel really binding and binded in the hips. This is a nice deep release. We're halfway there. Can you recommit to your breath here? Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Can you recommit to the pose, making sure you're in those 90-degree ankle angles, flexing the feet back. So this is different than a child's pose, right? Our ankles are separated. Our feet are flexed back. The arches of our feet are kissing the floor. About 5 more deep, deep breaths. You got it, Liz. Inhale. So Stephanie asked a really great question. She said, where would you put the blocks for a modification? You can put them on the inside of the thighs. And if that's even too much, you can just come onto the palms and not stay down onto the forearms, so it's not as deep of a stretch. Great question. Thank you for asking that. And if this is too much for your knees, you can fold over the mat, creating more of a cushion. Yeah, good. Almost there. Deep breath in. Audible exhale. I want everyone to make a noise. Again, inhale. Releasing stagnant energy stuck in the hips, making noise. Good, Ginger, you got it? Good. Inhale. Exhale. One more deep, deep breath in. Cleansing, audible exhale. Now to come out of this pose, really important. Let's do it all together. Lift the chest, press into your palms, straighten the arms. One knee comes back to the center line of the body at a time. Really slow. And your release can be a downward facing dog or straighten the legs one at a time. Maybe a child's pose. Great job, you guys. That is a deep, deep hip opener. Let's inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Again, deep breath in. Deep breath out. Let's slowly make our way onto our back now, you guys. We're beginning to land our practice. So as you come onto your back, bend both knees. Bring the feet wider than the hips. Similar to what we did in a seated position, you're going to windshield wiper the knees side to side. Good. And notice how the hips feel after that peak posture in frog. Does this internal rotation of the hips feel like it's been oiled up with some WD-40? Good. Now let's toe heel our feet back to the mat, hip width distance apart. As you come into a happy baby, draw both knees in towards your armpits and bring elbows to the inside of your knees, grabbing onto the ankles or outside knife edge corners of the feet. Option to keep the soles of the feet kissing, or begin to extend and flex the feet up towards the sky, coming into full extension of happy baby. And in this pose, see if you can root the navel in towards the spine, connecting the lower back to the mat, and then rocking from side to side. That will help anchor you so you don't topple over. But if you do, that's okay too. Just creating some childlike joy, fun in this pose. Good. Again, the goal here, if you're in full extension of happy baby, is to be in that 90-degree angle, ankle in line with the knee, knee in line with the hip, as much as possible. Good. Keeping a nice deep bend in the knees. Yes, spine nice and long, kissing the mat from the neck all the way down towards the tailbone. Good, Adriana and Zach, that looks great. One more inhale all together here. And exhale. Now releasing the feet. Straightening both legs forward. Keep the core engaged, so try not to just dump and plop the legs down. Keep the connection lower back to the mat. Once both legs are straight, reach the arms above your head. Take a nice lengthening inhale. Flex the toes back. Create a little bit of a forward tilt in the pelvis so the pubic bones are up towards the sky and your lower back is kissing the mat. Good. Take an inhale here. Keep that core engagement as you draw right knee in towards your chest. Interlacing the fingers. Avoiding the rib cage by slightly drawing right knee towards right armpits. Good. Option to bring some circles with the right ankle. Moving in a clockwise and then counterclockwise position. Taking a nice deep breath in. Deep breath out. One more inhale. Draw the knee in a little closer on your exhale, flexing the left toes back, and then twisting, guide the right knee across your body with your left hand, come into a supine twist. And then extending the right arm out to a T, picking up the head, drawing the gaze to the right. Good, so trying to keep the right shoulder down as you twist the right knee across your body. Deep breath in, fill the diaphragm. A little more challenging to breathe in our twists. Exhale as you twist a little bit deeper. Again, deep breath in, twisting deep on the exhale. Again, deep breath in, deep breath out. And if you don't feel this twist in the lower to mid back, you can pick up the hips, bring them over towards the right a little bit more so your hips are in line with your neck. Good. Ooh, I heard that pop. And then see if you can keep your eyes closed for the remainder of class as we continue on our back. Let's take one more inhale through the nose. Exhale, twist even deeper. Slowly bring it back to center. Use your core. Nice intentional movement. And then use the core to straighten the right leg forward. Keep the connection of the lower back to the mat. Inhale, reach your arms above your head, interlace your fingers, and then flip your palms. Ankles together to touch. Flex the toes back. And on your exhale, pull the left knee in towards your chest now. Interlace. Draw left knee towards your chest or slightly out towards the left armpit. Breathing here. Great breath. Drawing circles with the left ankle. Moving it in a clockwise and then counterclockwise position. Let's do one more deep breath in. Draw the left knee a little closer in towards the chest. Give it a nice tight squeeze. Inhale. Twisting on your exhale, guiding the left knee across your body with the right hand as you slowly extend the left arm out to a T. Picking up your head, drawing the gaze to the left. Notice how that shoulder feels. Option with that left arm to come into some snow angels. That will help with the opening of your pec. Maybe if there's some tightness in the bicep or the shoulder. Just creating nice, gentle, and supportive movements here. Good. About 3 more expansive breaths. One more inhale, fill belly, fill chest, fill up into the heart and the lungs. With an audible exhale as you slowly come back to center. Taking your time. Straightening the legs. Home stretch here, you guys. The last posture is yogi's choice, so whatever you feel like you need in your body to get you nice and comfortable and ready for Shavasana, please take that pose. Maybe it's something that we've already done that you want to revisit. So just taking a moment here, maybe on your back, drawing circles like egg beaters, like Atila's doing. noticing the hips. Class was sequenced to really get you guys nice and open in the hips. So I hope that you are feeling the benefits of that. And then when you're ready, we'll come into a tight ball, bringing both knees in towards your chest, squeezing every muscle in your body, bringing your forehead up to meet your knees, and then releasing into a final Shavasana. If you have a pillow or blocks to support behind the knees to release the lower back. If you have the time, please stay for the Shavasana. This is probably the most important part of practice, to allow the body to receive all the benefits of the last hour of moving and breathing. And now this is time to really reset the nervous system. If you have lights on and wish to turn them off, please do that, or cover your eyes with something to really support you into a deep, comfortable Shavasana. Taking a few nice, deep breaths. And we're going to move into a little bit of breath work to really aid us even deeper into Shavasana, into a restful pose. So if you bring your left palm to your belly and your right palm to your heart, relaxing the elbows, we're going to do a 2-part inhale through the mouth and a 1-part exhale also through the mouth. So it sounds like this. Inhale into the belly, feel the rise. Inhale into the heart. Exhale. Inhale belly. Inhale heart. Exhale. So all the breath is done through the mouth. 2-part inhale, 1-part exhale. So we'll start this together. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Belly, heart, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. See if you can stay with that rhythm. So as we're moving into this breath, we're heavily oxygenating the body, moving from sympathetic to parasympathetic nervous system, releasing any thoughts in the mind, disconnecting from the thoughts as you connect to the heart. We're halfway there, you guys. Stay with it. Nice, expansive inhale, cleansing, open mouth exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, inhale, exhale. Maybe picking up the breath for the last 10 rounds. Expanding the lungs, really filling. Normal if you're dry mouthed. Normal if you're a little tingly in the fingers or the toes. And most normal is if there's a little bit of resistance here to this. Last 3, even deeper, 2, last round, and release as you return to the normal inhale through the nose, 1 count, with an exhale through the mouth. Now just coming into a normal breath, noticing any sensations in the body, releasing the arms down by your side, palms face up in the position of receiving. Closing the eyes, letting everything go here. as I lead you guys into a guided meditation. So taking a moment as you scan the body from the crown of your head all the way down towards your feet. Relaxing the muscles, turning the attention inward. I want you to breathe deeply into all the tight corners of your being. We are not meant to hold on to anything we are not made of. This means your fears, your stress, your beliefs, and your endless list of burdens. Ever so graciously, your body is trying to instruct you to free the feelings keeping you bound. Nothing you feel is in vain or without meaning. Each difficult feeling is a bubble of suffering trying to burst. As you lay here, imagine your body as the sea. Picture yourself as the great, wide ocean with creatures of unique beauty playfully swimming in your water. You are alive. You are tranquil. In this moment, you are filled with awe. Now imagine a bubble escaping up through the sand. And inside that bubble is a feeling that does not serve you. It is rising into your awareness. Do not try and push the bubble down. See it for what it is. Something you are not made of, trying to escape from within you. Give a name or emotion to that bubble. A name or an emotion of something that you wish to let go of. It could be heartache or loneliness, maybe something more specific, like a memory still rattling around inside of you that you are tired of carrying. Watch the bubble travel up to the surface of your water, sending it on its way with a sigh of gratitude and a warm smile. Not being annoyed by its presence, but rather purified. Knowing that hardship is not punishment. Feelings are not punitive. They are bubbles of grace rising to the surface. Make friends with the shifting sands deep within you, honoring and acknowledging that you are opening, you are changing. Now let the air that needs to be released, release when and how it comes. Love these bubbles of grace. curling the corner of your mouth into a small smile as they begin to leave. Now staying here, watching and naming as many bubbles as you wish.